I used to think my family was perfect. But that was before I found out they weren't my real family at all. Everything started on a rainy night. I was just checking the camera to see what my cat was doing. But instead of the cat, I saw my mom digging something in the yard with a shovel. I thought it was a joke. Until she turned around, looked straight into the camera, and smiled. Not the smile of a loving mother, but the smile of someone who knew I was watching and wasn't afraid at all. From that moment on, I started doubting everything. My name. My childhood. Even the reason I was still alive. You think your family has secrets? Trust me. You haven't heard my story yet. If you're brave enough to learn the truth, hit that subscribe button. Because after this, nothing will ever be the same again. I grew up in a house everyone envied. My dad was the perfect man, my mom was gentle, and my little sister was as sweet as an angel. Everything was so perfect, it felt like a movie where every actor was just playing a role. After my grandmother passed away, the air in the house changed. Dad started locking his office door all day long. Mom began getting strange phone calls in the middle of the night. When I asked, she just smiled and said, "There are things grown-ups have to deal with." But then why did I hear her crying quietly behind their bedroom door? One morning, I saw my dad quickly wiping blood off his hand. He said he cut himself fixing something. But there were no tools in his hand, only a kitchen knife. He looked at me, and that smile, it wasn't the smile of a father. My sister changed too. She started writing in a secret notebook and hiding it under her pillow. I peeked once, and saw one messy sentence: "Don't trust anyone in this house. Not even me." I started feeling like someone was watching me. Every time I left my room, I heard footsteps on the stairs. When I woke up, my things were moved around. Once, I saw a shadow standing outside my window, staring straight at me. What is my family hiding? Why is everyone acting like I don't belong here? And why, in the family photo on the wall, has my face been blacked out with a marker? If it were you, would you have the courage to stay in that house? Comment below, because trust me, this is only the beginning. From that day on, I started noticing every tiny detail in the house. Something felt off. Like the walls themselves were whispering secrets I wasn't supposed to hear. One day, when Dad went out, I secretly opened his laptop. On the screen was a folder named Family_Records. I clicked on it. Password required. I tried my birthday. Didn't work. I tried my parents' wedding date. Didn't work. Then I tried something crazy, my grandmother's death date. And it opened. Inside were dozens of files, notes, photos, and an adoption paper. The name of the child adopted, me. I remembered clearly, I was born in that hospital. I had baby photos with Mom. So why was this file here? Did they swap babies? Who was I, really? I showed it to Mom. Her face went pale. Her voice trembled. "Who let you see that? You're never to touch it again." She tore the paper, threw it into the fire, and said, "Everything we did was to protect you." Protect me from who? From themselves? That night, I heard them arguing in their room. Dad shouted, "He's seen it already. If he tells anyone, we're finished." Mom cried, "You don't understand, he deserves to know the truth." I sat in the hallway, heart pounding. I could barely recognize the voices of the two people I'd called my parents. And when I peeked through the crack in the door, I saw something that froze my blood, a gun lying on the table. If you were in my shoes that night, would you run, or stay to uncover the whole truth? I couldn't sleep after that night. The image of the gun, Mom's crying, Dad's shouting, kept replaying in my head like an endless nightmare. I had to know the truth, even if it drove me insane. I started searching for clues. In Dad's drawer, I found a small hard drive sealed tight with black tape. I plugged it into the computer, and what I saw sent chills down my spine. Hundreds of old photos. In each one, there was a child who looked exactly like me, but wasn't me. The dates on the photos, taken before I was born. Then I found letters, written in Mom's handwriting, addressed to a woman named Emily. In one letter, she wrote, "The baby is safe. But if anyone finds out it's not my biological child, we're both finished." That's when it hit me, every memory I had might be fabricated. A story carefully scripted to make me believe I belonged here. I told my sister everything. She stayed quiet, then whispered, "You think you're the only one who's suspicious?" "I've known for a long time." I asked what she meant. She just smiled faintly and handed me a folded note. "If you want to know who you really are," she said, "come to the cemetery at midnight. Someone will be waiting for you." Before I could ask anything else, she left, and didn't come home that night. Was my sister trying to help me, or was she setting me up? And who was the person waiting in that cemetery? If it were you, would you dare go there? I went to the cemetery at exactly midnight. The rain was falling softly, and the fog was so thick I could barely see my own feet. Every step I took echoed, like someone else was walking right behind me. But every time I turned around, nothing. Between the cold, silent graves, a faint light flickered. A figure stood there. It was my father. He turned, his eyes colder than I'd ever seen. "You shouldn't have come here," he said. His voice was heavy, trembling, like it was carrying something monstrous. I asked him straight, "Who am I? Why is my name on those adoption papers?" He didn't answer. Then he pulled out an old photograph. In it was a man who looked exactly like him, only younger, holding a baby who looked identical to me. "That's my brother," he said. "And that baby is you." My heart froze. The man I called Dad wasn't my father. He was my real father's younger brother, the only survivor of a house fire 20 years ago. A fire that killed my real parents. A fire he was the investigator for. I took a step back, struggling to breathe. Then he said the words that shattered everything. "That fire wasn't an accident," he whispered. "I killed my brother. And you're the proof I couldn't erase." The rain poured harder. I screamed and ran. Behind me, his voice echoed through the storm, "If you tell anyone, there'll be another grave here, with your name on it. Would you go back home after hearing that? Or would you keep running, afraid that the man you once called father is already hunting you in the dark?" I don't remember how far I ran. All I know is that when I stopped, my shoes were buried in mud and my heart felt like it was about to explode. The rain hit my face like shards of ice, but my head was burning. Everything I'd ever believed in, my family, my childhood, my memories, was just a scripted play. The next morning, the police came. My father was arrested. They found a hidden room beneath the basement, filled with photos and forged documents. Files about me, my real father, and my real mother, the woman who had disappeared 20 years ago. They said she might still be alive. My mother vanished soon after. Her phone was off, her bank account emptied. No one knew where she went, only a note left behind, "Forgive me. You were never meant to exist." I read that sentence 100 times, and it still made no sense. My sister became a witness. But in the final clip from our home security camera, she sat before the lens, smiling. A strange, knowing smile. She said, "I just wanted to see how you'd react when you learned the truth. So tell me, brother, who's really the liar in this family?" Then she turned off the camera. I sat alone in that empty house, staring at the family photo on the wall. Someone had replaced it with another picture. In it, there was only me. Is this the end, or the beginning of something far worse? Because sometimes, monsters don't come from the dark. They come from your own bloodline. And sometimes, they wear your face. Since that night, I haven't been sure what's real anymore. Every time I look in the mirror, I don't know who's staring back at me. Am I the victim of a lie? Or the one who created it? I moved away. I changed my name. But that feeling, being watched, never left. Every night, I hear soft knocks on the window, 3 times, always 3. I try to ignore it until one day, a package arrived with no sender. Inside was a single USB drive and a note, "Don't forget, you're the one who started it all." I plugged the USB into my computer. On the screen was a video. It was me, standing in the cemetery that night, holding a shovel, smiling. Exactly like the scene I thought I'd seen my father in. Everything began to spin. Maybe from the start, no one had lied, except me. If you're still listening, ask yourself this: who is your family, really? And if one day you discovered every memory you have was fabricated, would you dare face the truth? I don't know what will happen next. But if someone's watching this video, remember this: never turn off your camera at night. Because sometimes, the most terrifying thing is the familiar face smiling back at you in the dark. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next part of this story might be worse than any nightmare you've ever imagined.